Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, I want you to think about the app you rely on the absolute most right now. Maybe it's that platform where you stream your favorite music, or, the complex software you literally depend on every single day at work. Have you ever wondered how that product actually got there? Like, how does a completely raw, abstract idea transform into a living, breathing application that millions of people can use all at once without it just crashing into a million pieces? Well, I'll tell you. It definitely doesn't happen by accident. Without a highly structured, totally battle-tested framework, you'd honestly just have complete chaos.
So what exactly are the 7 phases of the SDLC? It's basically the ultimate roadmap of creation in our digital age. And really, for anyone who wants to deeply understand the tech world, this is absolutely your foundational blueprint. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, SDLC simply stands for the Software Development Lifecycle. At its core, this is just the rigorous process of translating messy, abstract human requirements into rigid, executable machine logic, and finally, into a completely functional digital reality.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll introduce the cycle. Then, we'll lay the foundation with planning and analysis, move right into construction with design and coding, hit the launch phase, and finally, look to the future with maintenance.
All right, Section 1. Introducing the SDLC, the complete journey.
Before we put our software engineering hard hats on and look at all the granular pieces, we really need to zoom out. Let's look at the entire cycle from 30,000 feet. We have 1. Planning, 2. Analysis, 3. Design, 4. Coding, 5. Testing, 6. Deployment, and 7. Maintenance. Now, what's really interesting about this is the sheer logic of the progression. It's what makes it so incredibly powerful. You absolutely cannot skip a step without risking the entire project. Seriously, in software, a flaw caught in the design phase is super cheap to fix, right? But a flaw caught after deployment, that's a multi-million-dollar disaster waiting to happen.
Moving on to Section 2, Foundation, Planning, and Analysis.
In this really early stage, we have to be highly contemplative and super deliberate. Think about it. If you build a giant skyscraper on a weak foundation, it falls. The exact same thing is true for software. Planning and analysis are inextricably linked. Planning gives you the target, asking, what are we actually trying to achieve here? And identifying those goals must logically be followed by analysis. That's what provides the hard data you actually need to hit that target. You simply can't gather actionable data without first defining the scope. So the planning sets the destination, and the analysis surveys the terrain to get you there.
Next up, Section 3, Construction, Design, and Coding.
Now that we've gathered all our data and requirements, how do we actually visualize the build? Well, Phase 3 is design. This is where we define the project architecture. It's a lot like drawing up detailed blueprints for a house, and that blueprint totally dictates the bricks you'll use. Defining the architecture enables the developers to immediately jump into Phase 4, which is coding. The developers aren't just sitting around guessing what to write. No, they're following the precise architecture laid out in the previous step. This part is dynamic, it's fast-paced, and it's really where the software truly takes shape.
All right, Section 4, Launch, Testing, and Deploying it.
Okay, so you have the code, but you definitely cannot just throw it out into the wild right away. Phase 5, testing, is kind of like an adversarial gatekeeper. You are aggressively trying to break the very thing you just spent months building. You're rigorously reviewing code and squashing bugs just to ensure your users don't break it first. But once you conquer that massive internal hurdle, you reach the ultimate triumph. And that is Phase 6, deployment. You're finally pushing your code into the wild. You're deploying to the live production environment where real, everyday users get to interact with the exact solution you started planning way back in Phase 1. How cool is that?
And finally, Section 5, the future, maintenance.
So the crucial point here is that launching the software, that incredible adrenaline-filled moment of deployment, is absolutely not the end of the road. Honestly, it's just the end of the beginning. The reality of software is that it's continual. Phase 7 demands continual fixes and continual improvements. Think about it. Operating systems update, users constantly demand more features, and security threats are literally always evolving. A deployed app without maintenance isn't really finished. It's just slowly breaking over time. Maintenance is what ensures the product remains a living, highly relevant tool.
Which really leaves us with this final kind of profound question to consider. If maintenance demands continual adaptation to our fast-changing world, does the software lifecycle ever truly end, or is tech just a constant, never-ending state of iteration? Something to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in to The Explainer.